After an exciting week of releasing some great new hardware, Apple has now taken the lid off of their new services initiative with their March 25th It's Showtime event. Here's everything that Apple introduced. I'm Ian from Cult of Mac. Let's dive in. To kick things off, as most Apple events tend to now, the event started with a fun little video. After that, Tim Apple came out on stage explaining how Apple has this strong push for hardware, software, and services, all coming together to be this great offering that anybody can take advantage of that makes their products unlike any of their competitors. From there, they dove into the first big services announcement, starting with Apple News and their new News Plus service. Now, News Plus is basically a magazine and digital subscription service that gives you access to like 300 plus magazines, several digital content producers, and a couple of newspapers, most notably the LA Times and the Wall Street Journal. The service, which is available today, comes to be $9.99 a month, and it gives you and your family, yes, you heard that correctly, you and your family access to the 300 plus magazines in the service. News Plus is available in the US and Canada at launch, with services starting in Australia and Europe, and specifically in the UK in the fall. No word on other countries is when they're going to get the news offerings that Apple has slowly rolled out in some of these areas. The second service they hit on was Apple Pay, and most notably with Apple Pay, the new transit option is rolling out in Portland and then Chicago and New York later this year, and it allows you to board public transit with your Apple Watch or iPhone and have your train or metro boarding passes on your phone in the Wallet app. The second big Apple Pay feature is the new credit card experience Apple is touting called Apple Card, obviously. The whole premise of the card is that it's a simple application. It has low interest rates, it's private, and has a clear rewards program, which Apple feels they can really do with this new Apple Card. During the keynote, they talked about how easy it would be to sign up on your iPhone and have analytics of what it is you spent your money on, what your current balance is, the ability to make payments either through a connected account or through Apple Pay Cash, which is a pretty cool method to pay it. And they're going to use some device information like location to figure out where transactions take place. So instead of a confusing statement with a bunch of coded merchant information, you get actual details about where you're spending your money. The other cool thing about the new Apple Card is their rewards program, which offers 2% on all Apple Pay transactions, whether it's with your phone or your watch. Also offers 3% back on any purchases through the App Store, iTunes Store, or in the Apple Store. So whether it's for services or subscriptions, or it's for buying new hardware, new goodies, you get 3% back on that stuff if it's through Apple with Apple Pay. And then anywhere you swipe the physical card, which they do have a physical card of, you get 1% back on those transactions. And the greatest feature of this is that your rewards come in daily. So every transaction you make each day, the next day, a little bit of money is added to your Apple Pay Cash account, which allows you to take advantage of those little bits of earnings, which then you can apply to your card as payments, or you can store up an Apple Pay Cash, do whatever you want with. In addition, there's no fees with the Apple Card, which means no late fees, no annual fees, no international travel fees. It's all fee-free. The Apple Credit Card launches this summer. The third thing Apple addressed in their keynote today was the App Store, and most specifically, their games offering. Now, we heard a lot of rumors leading up to the event, and by a lot of rumors, I mean like two, that Apple was looking at doing a subscription game service which would allow you to play games from various developers at a single monthly fee. Today they announced Apple Arcade, which launches this fall, and it's basically the service that we heard was coming. They're promising 100 plus games at launch, with new games coming all the time. The games are the type of games you'd normally pay to buy, not these pay-to-play casino-style games where you're paying for in-app coins or gems or candy or whatever. And another thing that's pretty cool is that the games that are coming on this platform will be able to be played on your iPhone and your iPad, as well as your Apple TV and your Mac, which means that there's going to be a huge market for new and exciting and fun games coming in the future. There was no pricing announced for the Apple Arcade service, but they will have more details for us later this year. The fourth thing Apple talked about in their event today was TV, and more specifically, the TV app. And Apple is showing some new and improved design styles for the TV app, making it easier to subscribe to things like HBO or Showtime, Stars, or a bunch of these premium channel packages right through the app by quickly surfacing that content within the app and allowing you to just quickly hit subscribe and jump right into the video you want to watch. Unlike the current TV app, which tends to bounce you out to all these other third-party services, the new TV app will launch the videos right from within the TV app, and you'll see shows from all of your favorite subscription channels, as well as your paid cable or Hulu Live and PlayStation Vue channels. And you'll also see all your iTunes purchases, both movies and TV shows in there, which means that you'll be able to use the TV app as your kind of hub for all of your video content. Another big thing for the TV app today is that it will be available on smart TVs, which we heard about previously, but it will also be coming to the Roku and the Fire TV, meaning that you'll be able to watch all of your purchased iTunes content on all your connected TV, smart devices. The updated TV app is launching in May. They didn't say when in May, they just said May. So we have a few more weeks to wait to see that. The announcements in TV didn't stop there. They also announced the Apple TV Plus original video subscription service. There was no word on pricing, no word on release date. They had a great montage talking about how Apple's goal is great storytelling. And they took the opportunity to bring in some Hollywood A-listers to kind of talk about the service. We saw Steven Spielberg, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell, Jason Momoa, Alfred Woodard, Kumail Nanjiani, Big Bird from the Sesame Street, J.J. Abrams and Sarah Bareilles, and then of course at the very end of the event, Oprah, which was kind of a big deal. We got to see all of them come out, each talk about their show or the inspiration for the show that they're either working on or producing or directing or doing something with, which is super cool to have some of those talents come out and explain what they're working on. Unfortunately, we didn't get a real specific look at what their shows are. There weren't any trailers with the exception of the official Apple TV Plus preview trailer, which is kind of a supercut of several of their different shows. Another thing with Apple TV Plus is that it's going to be ad-free, which we all expected, and it's going to be available online and offline, so if you're traveling or something like that, you'll be able to download those shows and have them saved for later. And that's actually true of anything that you can watch within the new Apple TV app when it launches. Apple says that everything will be able to be downloaded for offline viewing, so if you're traveling or anywhere where you don't have a solid data connection, you'll be able to download those videos from any streaming service or from your iTunes library, obviously, and watch those things. And finally, at the end of the event, Oprah came out on stage, shared a very impassioned speech, which ended in her saying, hey, I'm launching a new book club that's going to be through Apple stores and through your iOS and Apple TV devices, that you'll be able to join in discussion and hear discussion about a different book, which is an interesting way to try to leverage Oprah and something that she's been known for into Apple's streaming service. At the very end of the event, Tim Cook came out, had a very emotional hug with Oprah, and was definitely moved by her speech. And then that was pretty much it. He wrapped up the event pretty quick and moved on. So that pretty much sums up the whole event. We had Apple's news updates with their News Plus service, $10 a month, launching today. We had Apple Card launching this summer, and the Apple Transit stuff coming throughout the course of 2019. We had the new App Store stuff, and specifically the Apple Arcade gaming platform, which will be launching this fall, the new Apple TV app coming in May, and then Apple TV Plus, Apple's original video service, coming in the fall. So what did you think of Apple's event? Anything that stood out to you as super great or super snooze? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Ian for Cult of Mac. Catch you in the next one.